Whoever picks the tracks at Gran Turismo this weekend's clearly taken something, because we've got the green hell in reverse. They must think it's Halloween or something. We're looking at one of the top times from this morning on Monday. It is a 7:46 in the Genesis. And the Genesis isn't necessarily the meta car. The M6 has done pretty well here, as has the Ferrari, the Lexus, and the 911. There really is a good selection of cars for this one. This race requires racing mediums and racing softs, and driver rating and safety rating is affected. You'll probably want to be on the mediums for 2 laps and on the soft for 1, suggesting that you would start on the medium for 2 laps. I've broken this down into about 12 sections. You might think there's more, you might think there's less, but I feel like this is a pretty reasonable outlay of the Nurburgring. Now, if you watch these videos and you manage to shave a little bit of time off, then let me know. Let me know in the comments if you put down your time at the beginning of the week and tell me your time at the end of the week. That would be cool to know. So as we head down the long old straight, this is the start of the race on the reverse track. So we're going into this left-hander. We'll be braking just at the start of this curb on the left-hand side, and then we'll put another little bit of brakes on when we pass these marshals on the right. Now, you don't just want to floor it as you go up the hill here, you want to be feathering the accelerator. The slowest sort of speed there is about 118 miles an hour, as you see just there. Now, you want to be braking at the yellow graffiti here, and you want to be going down into 2nd gear. This is for the mini carousel, and you want to be exiting the carousel in 3rd gear. Now, putting on about 100% brakes, just to get the car slowed down here. Braking just before the break in the fence on the right hand side. We're going down to 3rd gear, about 89 miles an hour. And that should complete section 1, and now we're flooring it through to section 2. Now, not all of these sections in between are foot to the floor, but most of them are. There's a couple of small sort of braking areas in a few of these. Now, we want to be coasting up the hill before the curb and braking at the end of the bold graffiti. And then we want to be going down to 4th gear. There's a bit of a double apex here, and we're going about 113 miles an hour as a sort of target speed. Now, we're braking just before the marshals stand on the left. And we want to be going to 2nd gear and 74 miles an hour. Now we're braking at this sort of 4th tree just before these marshals. And we want to be using the whole track, getting up on the curb on the right hand side. Now we're going down to 3rd gear here at about 81 miles an hour. And then we're braking here at this 24 graffiti on the road. And again, we're going down to 3rd gear, about 86. Now we're feathering it a little bit here up the hill just to get around this right-hander. We've got a little bit of dab of brakes here. And then we're going up to the next sort of hard braking zone. Again, we're feathering the accelerator through these parts of the track. You don't want to be flooring it, you will just lose it. Now we're braking here on this big circle, and we're going down to 3rd gear, 82 miles an hour for the corner ahead. And then we're feathering it down the hill in 4th gear. We don't really want to be going too much higher than about 115 before we start accelerating out. Now we're braking just at the 2nd pale barrier on the right hand side, going down to 1st gear for the carousel. Around the middle of the carousel we want to be at about 53 miles an hour, and then it's a very short stop down to 1st gear, and we're going 2nd gear to exit. Now we want to brake at this sort of 2nd to last graffiti where there's this big gap, and we're going down to 2nd and 63 miles an hour, and it's quite a late apex on this corner. Quite a long stretch here now to go to section 5. This is pretty much full acceleration all the way through, as you can see from the telemetry. Now we're coming up to a pretty hefty braking zone. So we're braking at this yellow graffiti on the left-hand side. We want to be going down to third gear and 79 miles an hour. A little bit of feathering as we go down. We don't want to lose it going off the track on the right-hand side. And then we're braking at the edge of the graffiti before the downhill. So it's sort of the last bit of graffiti here before we go down the hill. And we're coasting a little bit down into second gear and exiting in third as we get to the bottom. And then we're braking at the barrier where the barrier changes to the wall. Going down to second gear, about 81 miles an hour again. Exiting in third. Here we're braking between the gravel and the sign. And then we want to brake again a little bit here in the middle of the corner. We're getting down into first gear, and it's a bit of a late apex on this corner, about 44 miles an hour. I do think the driver here probably could have done a slightly better job there, but this is a massive track. There's going to be mistakes even on some of the fastest times. So next we want to be braking at this curb on the right-hand side. We want to be getting down to first gear, 60 miles an hour. This is quite a slow one. Again, quite a late apex here, second gear to exit. Now we're braking just after the marshals, and there's the triangle on the fence strut on the left-hand side. Second gear, 77 miles an hour. Exiting in third again. Flooring it through the next bit. Now we're braking at this sign on the right hand side. We want to get down to second gear, another slow corner at 62 miles an hour here. And then we'll be feathering it downhill after this. Do have to coast through quite a bit of this. Flooring it again. No need to brake in this area. Now here we're braking just at the marshals before the bridge. Again, second gear, a little bit quicker here. We're going 73 at the target speed. Try not to clip the curb and go on the grass. You might get a better time. Now we've got about 60-70% brakes coming up on the next corner. So this one's the one that's hard to see. There's a bit of gravel there on the right hand side, or a bit of dirt. You want to be braking just as you hit that. Going down to fifth gear, cutting the corner at about 145. Now this next bit comes up really quick. All of this happens really fast after one another. So we're braking just before the curb on the left, getting down to fourth gear. We're braking again at the end of this right curb into second. And then we're staying in third as we go through the next bit. We want to brake a little bit on this left-hand curb and just maintain the speed. Don't want to be accelerating too much until we exit around here. But that's quite a hairy bit of the track, to be fair. Now we've got this double sort of right-hander. We're braking just at the triangle sort of fence strut on the left-hand side. There is a bit of graffiti there as well. Going down to first gear, about 53-54 miles an hour. Exiting in second, and then we're braking just after this wall, getting down into second gear, about 60 miles an hour. And then for the chicane coming up, we want to stay in about fourth gear and coast through this. About 105 miles an hour, maybe a little bit slower so we don't hit the grass there on the left hand side. And you can floor it around that corner. Now we're coming uphill here, so we want to be braking at the curb on the right hand side, getting down to second gear, about 78 miles an hour for the target speed, exiting in third. We want to brake at the third red bit of the curb after the green paint on the left and getting down to second. Exiting in third, it's about 78 miles an hour for the target speed. Then we're braking again on the right-hand curb, first gear, late apex, 50 miles an hour. Exit this in second gear. Try not to get off the track on the right-hand side. Now, this is a long one. We want to brake at the cones here on the right-hand side. First gear, 62 miles an hour. Now we want to brake at the last full light grey barrier on the right hand side. Again, first gear about 48 miles an hour this time. And then you can just about see it on the left. There's this sort of tent. You want to brake halfway between this orange tent and the tower on the left. It's down to second gear, 68 miles an hour. And then braking at this tarmac on the left hand side. First gear, 42 miles an hour. Quite a late apex for that one as well. And then once you straighten up, get the power back down in second gear. We're now on the pit straight and almost at the end of this long old race. Now this is the last corner you have to worry about, thank goodness. So we've got the yellow line on the left hand side and the barrier. You want to be braking just as that barrier goes off screen. Second gear, about 71 miles an hour. And then once you're out of this bit, you're in third, all the way to the end. And that is it. That is all of the green hell track guided for you. I'm going to put up the screenshot thing if I can fit it all on one page. And I could just about fit it all on screen. It's a little bit small, but all of the gear and the target speeds for the apexes or just corners are there. So screenshot that and you should be able to use that as a cheat sheet guide once you've watched the full video to get the sort of context of each corner really. I haven't done my own attempt because it's been a bit of a long one. So yeah, good luck racing, try to survive the green hell, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye.